Hello guys and welcome back to my channel Firewall again. In this video I am going to talk about Checkpoint VPN, the basic site-to-site VPN configuration, and in that specifically configuring a mesh community between internally managed gateway. What it means, internally managed gateway means you have a one management server and you will be managing two different or more than two different checkpoint gateway, and from those checkpoint gateways you will be having VPN setup. So how that going to be happen, we will going to see into the lab. So guys, watch this video till the end and understand how it works. One more thing I want to talk here, if you want any checkpoint related trainings like CCSA, CCSE, CCMSC, CCT, whatsoever the checkpoint offers training which is useful for you to deliver your day-to-day life work, I conduct the training in a way that it is one-on-one training. So I take that individual who register for the training and I personally guide him and personally walk through him on variety of the topics of the checkpoint. Whatsoever he or she having requirement, I make sure he or she get understood those requirements with respect to their learning part. So if you want to take a training from me, you have to email me on my email ID. It's waibhav.parmar at outlook.com. You will find the email details or a description. Just send me your requirement and accordingly we'll plan one-on-one session and we'll get you trained on particular things. Again, also note that similar training if you take from the vendor itself, it costs a lot. You can check those things over their site and you will see what sort of amounts you're going to be they're going to charge you. But with me, it's a kind of training what they're going to provide, like a tag kind of training. I am also provide you a similar sort of experience but in your budget. So guys, thanks. Please do reach out to me and let's get on training part. Thank you. So guys, topology is very simple. I'll just give you a brief on that. So consider you have your company at one location, we call it A, and the company at the other side location, we call it B. So A is your main company and B is a branch office of that company. Okay, consider there is some data center behind, or there is some data center in B side of company or a branch office of the company, and that data center hosting some important web servers, right, or whatever the details or servers devices which are useful to be get accessible from the A side. And from A side also there is some, I would say, the data center here, and here also they were having some web servers which supposed to be get access by the data center of the B branch office company, or it is like whosoever the users are sitting here from B side and the A side, they need to be get access these data centers, right? So what solution we will have here? One, we will have a site-to-site VPN to have a secure connection between both the data center. So it's like we will create a tunnel here, and whatsoever the communication pass between this tunnel is encrypted and secure, and whatsoever user behind these data centers or sitting in this company, they were able to access the data as well. Now, the thing is that the requirement is that this A and B company, they share some common uh, management server. Consider they were having the checkpoint firewall and they share a common management server between them, and both the data centers having some firewalls. Say in this data center they were having a checkpoint firewall, this data center also having a checkpoint firewall, and this two checkpoint firewall get managed by common SMS. Okay, uh, the management part having a different scenarios, you will getting or you must be having a question without the VPN thing, how this to get a CPs managed by this SMS. Consider this SMS is sitting in the A data center, and from here it's managing the B data centers, checkpoint appliance or whatsoever software they were having. On the public IP address, consider here they were having some public IP address, and here there is some internal IP address, from there it is getting managed, or maybe here also having a public IP address, from there it's getting managed. That is a simple scenario, guys. Now, to achieve a security encryption, we will having this VPN solution, and in Checkpoint we have a flexibility to create a VPN between two Checkpoint devices, and that VPN they call internally managed VPN between the gateways. So this is what we're going to configure now and understand how it looks. So let me take you to the simple lab. Okay, so let me just walk you through. So consider, or it is there that we have two different gateways. Consider gateway A is in site A and gateway B is in site B, and both are managed by this SMS. Now there is some, web servers behind this gateway. There's some web server behind this gateway that need to be communicated. So how you can have those communication in a secure way? The solution is VPN. So let's configure that. I hope the idea behind this lab is now with you guys. Now the steps are very simple. Number one thing, you have to configure a community. Number two thing, you have to give all the necessary algorithms for that. Number three things, you have to give the necessary encryption domains or interesting traffic on that. Number four thing, you need to have a policy in place. And number five thing, you have to initiate a communication between one of the side to the another side so the tunnel get formed. So let's begin. So let me see if I can configure new VPN community from here itself. So if you see there is an object called VPN community. Basically you can get it from anywhere, from for example from here new. If you go to the more, here you will see this community, and here there is option star or mesh community. You don't know the difference between these two. It's like star, or there you will be having a hub and spoke kind of environment, where hub is your central gateway from where all the traffic is going to be passed, and the satellite is the your spoke gateways, where the traffic initiated from the satellite gateway here will reach to the central gateway and vice versa. In mesh community, it's like every gateway will communicate to each other. There is no fundamental like a satellite or a central gateway. Every gateway will be acting like a central gateway. So let's create a mesh community. Let me click mesh community, give it a name. So say site A to B, site B community, or it's okay, that is the name. Here you need to add your participating gateways. We need to just add these two gateways who are going to take a part of this. Then encrypted traffic, accept all encrypted traffic. The rule applies to all internet managed community members. If you select this option, it will accept whatsoever communication happening between your gateway 1 to gateway 2. All that communication get encrypted, and the benefit of this is that you don't have to have a policy need to be added into the policy security policy. By default this works. For now I'm not selecting this. Encryption, so based on your agreed upon standards and encryption details you have to select these things. For now I'm keeping it as it is, but depending on your standards and the requirement from the both the side and agreed by the security people, you have to select this encryption algorithms and encryption suite. Then tunnel management, here you can have the flexibility to set the permanent tunnels. So permanent tunnels is nothing but you have a flexibility to monitor the status of this tunnel, and uh, you get alerted if any abnormal things happen between your both the gateways with respect to tunnels. Then there is a VPN tunnel sharing. Here you can have flexibility to select what type of tunnel need to be formed between two sides. If you select one VPN tunnel per each pair of hosts, that means every pair of hosts will be having a dedicated tunnel connections, and every time whenever new host added into that, those tunnel get refreshed, and there will be tunnel connections formed between one VPN, I mean each pair of hosts whichsoever will be having over there. We generally not select this because the process intense throughput that matters, and every time if you deliver such sort of tunnel formation, it eat up your lot of throughput via VPN tunnel. Then one VPN tunnel per subnet pair. This is what the standard recommended from the checkpoint side, because it is something where form the tunnel between the subnet pairs, not with the different hosts, every single host. And the last one is VPN tunnel per gateway pair. That means whosoever the gateway is going to be participate, only tunnel form between them. As per the checkpoint recommendation, we should select one VPN tunnel per subnet pair. But again, depending on the requirement, you can select these things. Next, exclude services. If you like certain services not take a part of this VPN tunnel and their traffic is not get encrypted, you can exclude those services by adding those services here. For example, you have a requirement that FTP traffic over port 2120 whatsoever is not take a part of this VPN tunnel and will be not there, that packet will not get encrypted. You will add those services from here. Next, share secret things. Here you will be not getting those details because each external member will have the following with all internal members in this community. Use the share secret for all external members. So we are doing all the things with the internal things, so that this option is not popping up. Then there is a wire mode. It allows uninspected encrypted traffic between wire mode interface of this community members. What it means that it just bypasses the firewall traffic if it is layer 2 communication is there. Basically, generally, what I know about this wire mode is more of having a tunnel between locally managed IP addresses and their permanent IP addresses and layer 2 traffic sort of communication. So basically more like a layer 2 VPN sort of tunnels. Generally I haven't seen this sort of configuration anywhere. And in advance again you are selecting your IKEY phase 1 and IPsec phase 2 details. Here, if you don't know about what is this IKEY phase 1 and phase 2 things, uh, I have a video uploaded on this part. You will be getting a lot of details how it works. And again, these properties like disable NAT inside a VPN community, use aggressive mode, support IP compressions and everything. I have already explained to the another video. So for now, I'm just selecting disable NAT inside a VPN community and resting as it is. Now the community is got formed. Now just let's go to the gateway and let's select whatsoever the encryption domain we are taking a part of this tunnel. So if you go to the gateway property from the network management and from the VPN domain, here you can select whatsoever encryption domain you want to take a part of this. So for now, here you can select whatsoever subnet you want to take a part of this, but for now I am just selecting all IP addresses behind the gateway based on topology information, because I just want a simple VPN tunnel. If you are required or you have a requirement to have subnets as per your requirements, you can just add those from here, or you can create from here as well. So let me just select this. Then you have to come back to this and IPsec VPN link selection. So you have to say what IP address you going to be take a part of it. So basically, whatsoever the external IP address is supposed to be get traveled, you have to select that. Rest is your, depending on the requirement, you have to select these things. Ongoing link tracking, let me say log and okay. Similarly, I'll select the gateway two things, sorry, gateway one thing. Here also I will put all IP addresses behind the gateway based on topology information. But for the sake of understanding, let's have this like this. You can have the VPN domains set up, and that can be set up here. You can just define whatsoever encryption domain you want to take a part of this VPN tunnel over here. So that is there. Next, I would say go to the IPsec VPN link selection and which IP address you want to take a part of this VPN ID or external IP address. You have to select from this. So this is what basic things you need to have in place. And lastly, you need to have a policy. So let me just create a simple policy over there. I will specify site to site between A and B company, for example. I would like to have my source here any for now. Just we are just testing it, so it's okay to have any, but as per your requirement, you can specify your source and destinations. This any is not recommended. Whatsoever the encryption domain you want to have in this uh, policy, you can add it. Now a VPN thing, here you just have to add your VPN community, which you have just configured. So this is one. Now services, if you want specific services to take a part of it, you can add that. Otherwise you can put it any, and then accept all this uh, communication, and then you have to publish these changes. And then you have to install the policy on your both the gateways. So it's a standard policy and I'm installing on both the gateways. So once the policy get installed, we'll test the connection. Meanwhile, let's go to the one of the system Windows machine which is behind the gateway to see if we initiate a connection from there. So let me just start this virtual machine. Let's this virtual machine get started. Let me just quickly log into this virtual machine. Alright, I'll just show you the IP address, IP config. If you see 192.168.1.92 is the IP address and 192.168.1.200 is the default gateway. So this 192.168.1.200 is my gateway 1 if you see here, right? And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to ping one of the interface of the another side gateway. Okay, so consider if I have this two interface. So I'm going to ping this 10.10.20.1 to see if the tunnel is getting formed. So before that, let me just quickly do one thing. Let's go back to the one of the gateways. Let's go to the this gateway. Expert mode. So this is the gateway. FW get IFS. If you see the IP address 192.168.1.20. Now let me just delete whatsoever this thing we have here. Already we have some IK tunnel. So let's do this. Let's delete this. Take an example like this option 7. What is my pair? 192.168.1.80. 1.80. So if you see there is no tunnel at all now. Okay, now there is no tunnel, no communication. What I'm going to do, let me just initiate the connection from this Windows machine. Let me go here and let's try to ping one of the IP address which we just discussed 10.10.20.1 from that Windows machine. So let me do that. So what is the IP address? Sorry for this. Ping 10.10.10.20, I guess. Let me cross check one more time. 10.10.20.1, okay. 20.1. 20.1. So tunnel communication is get initiated and I hope we should see the tunnel here. Let me just quit and just come back. I hope we should see the tunnel. Yes, the tunnel is formed and IPsec thing is also there.